whole food, plant-based, healthy, good for you blueberry muffins. One of my favorite recipes. As always, I'm going to show you how to make it. Let's go play. Trust me when I say I have tried several recipes for blueberry muffins, and these are by far my favorite. Not only when it comes to ingredients used, because they are 100% whole food plant-based, but the consistency, the flavor, that's what matters when it comes to blueberry muffins, right? So, this is the one. I was inspired by this, by Plentifully Lean, Plentiful Kiki, aka Kiki Nelson. When I first went whole food plant-based, her and her recipes, her cookbook, her YouTube videos really helped me out. Let me introduce myself. Hello, I'm Corinne. Welcome to my channel. I'm not only the drummer for the thrash metal band Nitemare Hippie Children, which is the music that you're going to be hearing throughout. I'm also a foodie who loves to play in the kitchen, who has been eating a mostly whole foods plant-based diet for about 6.5, coming up on 7 years. So if you are looking to get healthier, or you just want to be inspired by different recipes, there's where I come in. Not only to hold myself accountable, but to help you out with super easy recipes like this one. Blueberry muffins, we all have a sweet tooth, and who doesn't like blueberry muffins, right? So that's why I'm doing this one today. And again, this recipe comes from the Plentifully Lean cookbook. This is Kiki Nelson's cookbook. I'll link it below for you. This is what I do. I find recipes on the Googles or on the YouTubes, and I make it my own. I do through trial and error, and this is one of my favorite recipes. I'm just going to get into it. I'm going to help you make it. I have my ingredients kind of spread out here. I'm going to be looking down to read off of the ingredient list, and I will also be showing you, telling you what I did a little bit different to change it up. So the first thing that we need is 1.5 cups of whole wheat flour. That's what I have right here. Get it at Walmart. Nothing too fancy. I believe the brand is King Arthur. Yeah, there's that. So the recipe calls for a 1/4 cup of unrefined sugar or coconut sugar. I use organic cane sugar, and I'm only using 3 tablespoons. Tell you why in a second. That's going in. Next ingredient, 1 tablespoon powdered vegan egg replacer or ground flaxseed. I have a tablespoon of ground flaxseed. That's kind of the binder, the thickener in place of the egg. There's that. The next ingredient, 1 teaspoon baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon baking soda, 1/8 teaspoon eighth teaspoon salt. I only did the 3 tablespoons of the sugar because I added about almost a full scoop of my favorite vanilla protein powder. It's organic protein powder. I'll link it below, but it adds an extra sweetness to it, which means I didn't need to add the full amount of the sugar that it calls for. So those are those ingredients going in. Then the next ingredient, now that's all the dry stuff. Now we get to the wet stuff, which is a 1/4 cup of unsweetened applesauce or mashed banana. I don't know if you know this, a little hack, a little trick. The recipe calls for applesauce, which is great, but applesauce in most recipes can work in place of oil. You don't need to add any oil or fat to a recipe when it calls for oil. Again, depending on the recipe, which we could get into in a different video, you can use applesauce. I get these adorable little cups of applesauce. They're unsweetened applesauce, no sugar added, a 6-pack. I get it at Aldi. And fun little fact, these cute little cups are exactly a 1/2 cup. Recipe calls for a 1/4 cup, so we only need half of this bad boy. So that's going in, and I'm going to apply the rest of it to my face here in just a little while. And then 1 teaspoon of vanilla. I like things to be extra vanilla-y when it calls for vanilla, which means I'm not adding a teaspoon, I'm adding a tablespoon because I like the vanilla flavor. And I'm just using the imitation vanilla because I'm a cheap bastard and I like the flavor of it. So there's that, along with 1 cup of water. And that is it for the ingredients. Oh, but the blueberries. But before I add them, I'm going to mix up this batter. I'm not going to over mix. I'm just going to kind of make sure everything's incorporated, make sure there's no chunks of flour going on in there. So that's it. I just did that. But then for the rest of it, put that in the sink. I'm just going to kind of fold it over. Over mixing will make the, what's the best way to put it? They'll go flat. They won't poof up. My oven is singing songs to me because it's preheated to 375. So again, just making sure there's no dry clumps of flour or any dry ingredients. That's it. This is the consistency that we want. So that is perfect. And now goes in the cup of blueberries. You can use fresh blueberries. I happen to have frozen. That's going in. About a cup of blueberries, because you have to have at least a blueberry in each bite. And now I'm not stirring these in. I'm just kind of folding these into the batter, making sure it's all mixed up. Can't wait till these are done. These are my favorite. And I hope that you make these. If you do, please let me know in the comments if you make it exactly how the book calls for, if you happen to get the book, or if you make it this way, or let me know what you change up. I'm always curious and interested to find out if you made these, and if so, how did they turn out? Or if you have any options or suggestions for me. And if you do like them, do me a favor and like this video, and please subscribe, because we're going to have a lot more stuff like this coming out. I'm also recording another video today for a really yummy dinner idea, but more on that to come at a different time. So see, you got to subscribe if you want to see more of what I got going on here. Now I'm adding these to my little cupcake tin. I have my 100,000-year-old cupcake tin, and then I have found through trial and error, I have these silicone cupcake jobbies. You can get them at Walmart. You can get them online. I think I got them on Amazon, because I get everything on Amazon. So if I find them, I'll link it below for you. But I have found that using silicone thingies in place of the paper thingies works a lot better, because with the paper thingies, I found that I had to spray it with some sort of nonstick spray, and I don't want to incorporate any oil into this because this is oil-free. We want to lose weight eating the yummy things. We don't need to add any extra oil or fat into the diet when we don't need to, which is why I opted for these cute little silicone jobbies. They come out a lot easier. The muffin comes out a lot easier, and then you just wash it and you reuse it. So the little silicone muffin jobbies in place of the paper work so much better for this. Now it calls for roughly a quarter cup in each little thingy, so that's what I'm going to do. All right, I have 11. There's a little bit of batter left over, but that's not enough to make another one, and I don't want to add too much extra to what I already have here, because then they'll poof up and make a big ass mess, and I don't want to clean a big ass mess. So these are going to go into the preheated oven, 375 for, what's it called for? 18 to 20 minutes. I'm going to put it in for 20 minutes. I'm going to then take it out, let them cool for a few minutes, which is the worst part because I lack patience and I hate waiting. So these are going in for 20 minutes. I'm going to let them cool for a few, and then I'll show you what they look like. See you in a minute. I said I wasn't going to be back until these have cooled down a little bit, but the oven just beeped and I peeked in, and I have to show you why it is so important not to overfill them and why I didn't add more batter. Look at this. Look at how much they poofed up right there. Most likely they will deflate a little bit as they cool down, but we're just going to wait and see. I'm going to let these cool down. I'll be back in just a second to show you what it looks like on the inside. Be right back. Okay, so it's been about 6-7 minutes, and it's time for me to dig into one of these bad boys and show you why they're so awesome. All right. Silicone little thingies. This is why I love them. Look at that. See? Comes right out. Ooh, steamy. It's so warm still. So my silicone thingy, I'm just, look at, watch. Spongy. Cake-like. I can't even explain. It's a freaking blueberry muffin. It is so good. You're gonna have to let me know if you make these and if they turn out as bomb diggity as these did for me. I'm gonna let the rest of these cool, and then I'm going to put them in an airtight container. I'm gonna keep them in the fridge for 3-4 days tops, if they even last that long. My husband and I love these. So these have been great. Stay tuned for the bloopers as always. Eat clean, live loud, and I'll see you in the next video. See ya. I'm not only the thrash metal drummer for the... Usually eating the brownies is my favorite part. I'm a liar. This is my favorite part.